Alright, Shalom. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostle elders at Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the elect of Israel. Now, I just wanted to go into a quick lesson today. It won't be too long, and it's going to be entitled, "We Are Dead in Yahawashi." Because when you come into this truth, the person that you used to be ceases to exist. You become a new man. And all the people you used to know, things you used to do, you can't vibe with anymore. Because you become a new man. All the old ways of living that you had, they cease to exist once your eyes are open and you come into this truth. So, essentially, we are dead in Yahawashi. Once we come into this truth, the old man gets put off. And I want to bring out a few scriptures to go along with that point. And I'm going to start with the book of Romans, chapter 6. And I'm going to start at verse 1, but the point is like in maybe 4 or 5. So this is the book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may not abound? Yahweh forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized into Yahawashi were baptized into his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Yahawashi was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. So it said we should walk in newness of life, and that old man is crucified with him. So when you come in this truth, man, your eyes are open, you're a new man. So all the things you used to do, they no longer exist. If you ate pork and shellfish and unclean food before you came into the truth, you can't eat it no more. If you lined up your beard and your hair, you can't do it anymore. If you had long dreadlocks, you can't do that anymore when you come into this truth. All the stuff you used to do, if you used to run around just being a nigga, once you come into the word and the grace of the Most High, you put that part off, and you no longer do that. So that's part of being dead in Yahawashi. That old man, that sinful man has to go, because now you know better. You know what they say, when you know better, you do better. So you become a new man. Because when you come into this, man, you're going to really start to detest the things that you used to be involved with. The shit that goes on in everyday life of just being a nigga in this kingdom, man. It's going to start to really vex you. You won't even be able to deal with it. And the people that you once used to be around, they won't understand it. And they'll start to feel a certain way towards you. But through these scriptures, we can get confident knowing that it's just a fulfillment of prophecy. And it just has to happen. So whenever these things go on, we can just go back and filter whatever's going on through the scriptures and know that it's just the will of the Most High. And that's going to lead me to the next scripture. I'm going to go to the book of John. Let's see, the book of John. I'm going to go to chapter 15. And I'm going to go straight to the point. This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. And this is the red letters. This is Yahawashi speaking. He said, now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. What is the word? The word is the scriptures. Now you are clean through the word, which is the grace of the Most High through his son, Yahawashi. Now this scripture, now you notice it say we are clean through the word. So this scripture gonna lead me to the next scripture to tell you what you should do after you are clean through the word. So this is the book of John, chapter 8. And I'm gonna start at around I'm gonna start at 9. We all know this story. This is the story where the men of a certain village accused the women of adultery. So they brought out the stone, and this is when Yahawashi said, "He who was without sin cast the first stone." But I'm getting to a point that I'm trying to get out of this story right quick. So this is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 9. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest even to the last. And Yahawashi was left alone, and the women standing in the midst. When Yahawashi had lifted up himself and saw none but the women, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Have no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Yahawashi said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. Now the point is right there in verse 11 where he says, Go and sin no more. So once you're healed by this word, you're supposed to go on and sin no more. Just like when he came and showed grace and saved this woman. He didn't say, okay, now go ahead out and keep committing adultery or go do whatever you want to do. No, he said, now go and sin no more. The old person she used to be had to die at that point and become a whole new person, man. So that's the same thing. Once you come into this truth and you are healed by the word that we got out of John 15, you have to go on and sin no more. And a lot of people who Yahawashi healed, after he healed them, he used to tell them that, now go on and sin no more. So you put off that old man. Now I'm going to jump to the next scripture. And I'm going to go to the book, I'm going to go back to the book of Psalms in the Old Testament. I'm going to go to, let's see. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 69. And I'm going to start at, let me see, the point in 8. But I'm going to start at 7. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 69, verse 7. Because for thy sake I have borne reproach, shame hath covered my face. I am become a stranger unto my brethren, and an alien unto my mother's children. Now that right there is saying, he said, for thy sake I have borne reproach, shame have covered my face, for the sake of the Lord. I have become a stranger to my brethren, to my brothers, and an alien unto my mother's children. And that's going to happen when you come into this truth, man. I'm going to take myself for an example. When I came into this truth, before I came into this, I was a whole different person, man. I had long dreads. I kept a clean cut, line up all over my face. And my mother came over and really had to sit down and talk with me. She was damn near in tears saying, I don't know what's wrong with you. You used to have a clean cut face and this and that. I think it's something wrong, because they don't understand. When you come into this truth, you become a whole nother person. And the scripture also say, we are fools for Yahawashi's sake. So we are bad at reproach, because the average person in the world don't understand what we're involved in. They don't understand this truth, man. They don't understand that the ways you were taught were wickedness. You're living the way of the heathen. So when they see you stop doing what you used to do and stop lining yourself up, they go to talking crazy about you and saying there's something wrong with you. That's a part of the old man dying when you come into Yahawashi and you put on a new man. And I'm going to go into, I think, one more scripture. Let me see here. Yeah, I got one more. And this is the book of, let me see. This is the book of 1 Peter. Yeah, is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 2. That he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High. So once you come into the truth and you're blessed with this knowledge, you live no longer after the flesh of men, but to the will of the Most High.